Good afternoon and welcome again to CanaPino. This is your Canadian-Filipino cross-cultural connection. Hey.
Hi! Good afternoon! Magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Rowena.
And my name is Peter.
Yeah, I forgot my husband. Yes, that's my husband. Pedro.
Yeah, so anyways, the last time we convened on the CanaPino podcast, we were talking about life and cultures and superstitions and habits that we've picked up from each other's cultures. Mm-hmm. And today we're talking about the thing that brings really every culture together, food.
Yes, yummy.
Prepare to be hungry.
I love food.
Everybody loves food, I think. We were kind of talking about this like in between, like during the week and things like that, and talking about the different things that we like food-wise in each other's cultures. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, I mean, because I'd never had Filipino food before I met Rowena, so it was a real experience for me. And but the things that I noticed is that it's very savory kinds of foods because everything's meant to be eaten with rice, which is
Filipino food. Yes, more savory, and more soy sauce.
And of course, the Filipino cultural motto is "rice is life." So
that's right. You got it, sweetheart.
So with that in mind, having more savory foods works really well with rice. And I mean, when I first met you, I wasn't a big rice eater. I would eat it, but I wasn't a big fan of it because the North American culture, or I shouldn't say it's really North American culture because it's not. It was just what I was raised with. When we had rice, it was just rice. It wasn't mixed with anything. It wasn't like a Chinese fried rice. It was just plain old steamed rice. So when we started having rice with your friends and that, I was like, oh, rice. Which really, when you think about it, is kind of silly because, being Irish, we have potatoes. And potatoes are really just rice in larger form.
Yes.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
So there's still, starches, there's still carbohydrates. But they're in Irish culture, I mean, it mixes well with, stews and all of that sort of thing. And like when my mother would make potatoes, it was always like whipped potatoes. And we have lots of butter and salt and they were just so nice. But when I tried that same sort of thing with steamed rice, it didn't really work the same way for me. But when I met you and we started having Filipino food and it was Fangelai that we're making adobo, chicken adobo. Which is really savory because there's lots of soy sauce in that. Of course, I was eating it like a North American. I would have some chicken, and then I would have some rice. And then I would have some chicken, and then I would have some rice. And the problem with doing that is you would run out of one or the other before you would, before the other. And in Filipino culture, of course, as soon as something is lacking on the plate, the offer is immediately there to replenish that.
Why you don't have rice? Go and get more rice. Or I will give you rice. Right away when they're saying they will put rice for Peter.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it was always, oh, more rice. Pedro, have more rice. And I'm like, okay, no, calm down. I still have chicken here. Like but you don't have rice to go with it.
Yeah. And and when you finish your chicken, you don't have chicken anymore.
Yeah, so it was a big adaptation for me. But when I started, observing Filipino culture and how you would take, a spoonful of rice with chicken and the sauce and everything, I was like, oh, let me try that. And it was like, oh, now it makes complete sense. It's just a difference in the way different cultures eat that I hadn't really thought about before. So it was a good learning experience, and I mean, it's changed the way that I eat now.
And mind you, sweetheart, that you're using is a spoon and fork usually, mostly Filipino, and I think everybody's using spoon and fork. Beside of your hand, of course, that's very rare. But Peter really doesn't really notice that before. right, sweetheart?
No,
Yeah.
well, North American culture again, we don't. Spoons are used for soup. You know,
But
we never really have like if you're just having rice and chicken and
mm-hmm.
vegetables, you would just have a knife and a fork.
Yes.
You know, because you can spear whatever you want to pick up with a fork, or you could kind of scoop it up with your fork.
Yeah.
So
So it was funny when I saw him using fork only. Why are you using your fork in the right hand? You should spoon, and the left hand is fork. Yeah, and
yeah,
then
and I mean, you know, when you see it, you kind of go, "Oh yeah, that'd be easier, wouldn't it? Trying to pick up rice with a spoon as opposed to a fork."
yeah.
Yeah,
But
fancy that.
sometimes I end up I'm using fork, and he was using spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we exchange.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, she's now adapted into some of the North American cultural dining habits of using knife and fork. Although you're still kind of working on how to use that knife.
I know. I just pointed and sliced.
Well, yeah, and I understand that because with Filipino food, you don't really need a knife. You know,
That's right.
The meats are always done, you know, so that you can just take a spoon and dig it, or your fork and dig into the side of it and be able to just cut it without a knife. Whereas North American stuff, no, you need a knife for some things.
And also when we're young, my siblings, when we're eating, we don't have any knife because my mom will cut already they divided already our meat. So how are you gonna cut? We don't have any steak. The steak for us is just for a week. My mom will cut the steak, one steak for a week.
I was
So
going to say,
it's
yeah, one steak for the whole
one
family.
steak for the whole week. So she divided for one for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for 1 week. For one steak. So she will cut into small, tiny pieces. So how you gonna how you gonna use that?
No, I totally get it. I mean, and the more you see that kind of thing in different cultures, you start to connect some dots and go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I get it. I understand.
Yes. And mind you don't know how to cook rice before.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I knew the recipe to cook rice,
Yes.
but I just never really made it. So there's a big difference between knowing how to make rice and knowing how to make good rice.
How Filipino make rice with the use of finger. Do you know that?
Yes, the finger,
measurement.
the finger measurement system,
Yes.
of course. Yeah.
Show to them how to measure that rice.
So
The water.
Yeah, so you put your rice in and then you fill with water, and when the water comes up to your first knuckle, that's enough water, and that's above the rice.
Yeah, the wrong finger, sweetheart.
Oh, is it the FU finger?
The perfect measurement is that finger.
This one you just
The
you have
middle
to-
finger.
you do that.
Oh, that's bad.
Otherwise, yeah. Well, I mean, it stands to reason you wouldn't be doing it the other way around.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. All right.
So
All
it's got to
right.
be that way.
Yes.
And it's got to. You have to because you can't put two fingers in. That's not right either.
So yeah, he likes adobo. He likes rice. That's why when I met him, of course, he was so skinny and light, very light. But now we become heavy because of our, we're eating a lot of rice. So we just cut down a little bit for rice. And then what else, sweetheart? The Filipino, you like Filipino food, right? The Filipino dish. What kind of Filipino dish?
Yeah, well, I mean, I like. I love the spring rolls.
Oh,
so
the
good.
spring rolls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and your spring rolls are the best.
Mm.
And then, of course, lechon kawale, barbecue, chicken
Oh.
or pork. And not so big on the kare kare. We've talked about that. And
Yes.
anybody that doesn't know what kare kare is, it's
Yeah.
basically beef, and in the sauce there's peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Yes.
it just doesn't work.
It's okay.
I can't-
You can skip that.
Can't resolve that one in here. It's not working.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm not a big fan of a lot of the vegetables, the gulai.
You like the chop suey.
Well, I like the chop suey, but I mean like in other dishes, like when there's vegetables in other dishes like
Pakbet, like pinakbet.
yeah,
Yeah, with the squash, mama
or
squash, okra,
yeah,
eggplant together.
you have a real a variety of different vegetables, which is good. I'm just
Mm.
not a vegetable fan in general,
Yes,
but I do
yes.
find like there are a lot of dishes in Filipino culture that have vegetables, and this applies more to the leafy ones, where
Mm.
they get really super wilty and like
Oh,
that's for me. It's a bit of a turnoff because it
oh,
looks very
that's
unappealing and
that's
the
a
texture is even
taro.
worse.
Taro leaves, like a laing.
Oh,
Laing,
okay.
yes, taro leaves, yes. I know because that's more Asian food. So
Mm.
I know you're trying to adopt some foods, but of course you can't really force what
Yeah.
different taste, different tongue. Yeah, it's good. At least you enjoy some Filipino foods like lechon kawale, and he really cook already. He knows how to cook adobo already, and I teach him how to cook pansit, nilagang baka. So yeah. So if I'm tired and if I'm not available, he can cook. Yeah, that's a good thing.
And then the other thing that I'm not a big fan of is fish.
Oh
But
yes.
that's just in general. There's really only like two or three different kinds of fish that I will have,
Mm-hmm.
like fish and chips fish. I know.
Yes.
I can hear everybody out there going, "What a baby." And you're right. You're right. I'm not going to argue that. I'm a baby. I get it. I don't have a very sophisticated palate when it comes to seafaring foods.
That's
And I'm
okay,
okay with that.
sweetheart. That's okay because we enjoy our Japanese food
Hmm.
like sashimi.
Yes.
He
And
really likes
that's,
sashimi fish,
for some reason, yeah,
fresh fish.
cooked fish
Mm-hmm.
doesn't do a whole lot
Mm-hmm.
for me, but sashimi I love.
Yes.
Like salmon, I do not like cooked salmon. Sashimi
Mm-hmm.
salmon, love it, my favorite.
Yes.
I'm a very strange person. I get it. I'm totally there.
Yeah, we love the salmon, sashimi salmon. Yes, and also we enjoy the Japanese food, so which is really good because we
Hmm.
will hang out. We know already where we go.
But you see, that's where you're a bit of a rarity because I've noticed
Mm.
this with other Filipino people. Not all, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Filipino people don't really like to venture outside of the
Mm-hmm.
Filipino food category. They kind of get very geared to, oh, I'm going to have steamed rice and caldereta and lechon
Mm-hmm.
kawale and whatever. But it's primarily a Filipino diet, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's more because of the culture in the Philippines and what it's like there, and that you don't really have exposure to outside foods,
No, it
or
depends the person.
yeah,
It
okay,
depends. If you're like a Dora, the explorer, of course, you will explore.
and
I'm a bit of Dora. Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah, like you're great that way. You like to try a lot of different things, which is really good.
Yes, yes.
And so, I mean, I'm mentioning a lot of things in Filipino food culture that I'm not a big fan of,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't really have that kind of list for North American food, do you?
Yeah, I don't really remember that any dish that I don't really like.
Hmm.
Everything I like except onion, and of course,
Raw
yeah,
onions,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
cooked
raw
onions
onions.
you're fine with.
Mm-hmm. That's all. Yeah, don't give me a raw onions. That's it.
I'm gonna make you eat one like an apple after the show.
But I can eat onion rings. It's so funny. I can eat the onion ring.
Do
Yeah.
you remember what the first food was you had when you came to Canada?
More pasta. My Italian couple.
Right, the
So
first family you worked for as a caregiver.
yes, that's the first family that I work for. The Italian couple. They are really good to me, and I learned a lot about Italian food, and I adapted too. And then, of course, from then, the Canadian food is similar also, like pasta, more pasta. And then when I met you, that's the time I explore more food,
Hmm,
Canadian food, because I
interesting.
like burger. So we hung out for burgers, for meatballs. Peter made always a homemade burgers and meatball, and I really love it. I love homemades. We love homemades anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Store-bought burgers to me have never been satisfying, like from a flavor perspective, or some of them are okay, but I've always just enjoyed homemade burgers, and that's because I was a bit spoiled as a kid. You know, my mother made all of those things, but
Yeah.
she did it more because of cost.
Yes.
You know, like
So our
when-
budget.
Yeah, when you have a family of 6 kids, it's like you're not going to go out and buy a box of frozen burgers. Mind you, I don't know that we even really had those when I was a kid. But yeah, I mean, from a cost perspective, yeah, older families always made everything at home.
So which is really I like it, and also the first time I tried the steak, when Peter cooked me cook for me again. Yeah,
it was
when
really hard getting her up on the stove.
No, that was when the first date that we had.
Not our first date, but
When we were
maybe,
dating.
yeah, it was early on in our dating. It was maybe a couple of weeks into dating, I think.
Yeah, he
I
said,
made you dinner.
"Oh, I'm gonna cook for you a steak." Wow, somebody will cook for me. Okay, sure, why not?
See, and just a quick thing, this is where most of the North American guys are going, steak. And she's
Yeah.
focused on, he cooked for me. Carry on.
Yeah. So he cooked steak for both two of us, and then mashed potato. I think. Yeah. You made whipped potato, and then with a glass of milk. Not a wine, right? Not a wine. I remember there's no wine.
Yeah, no, I
So-
don't think we had wine.
Yeah, we don't
I
have
think
wine.
we just
You
had
didn't
milk.
buy a wine? Oh gosh, I can't really think now. Just remember, no wine. So yeah, that was the first time I tried the steak. Yeah, the good steak.
Mhm.
But he asked me about what kind of
How you
what.
wanted it cooked.
Yes, and then I said, "Well done," because I never really tried the other
Kinds, yeah,
other
and
kinds.
other ways of making, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because everything in the Philippines is well done.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
What is that? Medium rare,
medium
rare.
medium rare is how I have it. But yeah, others will have it rare,
Rare.
medium well, medium, or you'll have it blue. And blue is really just raw.
Oh, don't go for blue. Just go red. Yeah, so I'm not sure about that, but I always ordered my steak well done. So when I met Peter, he made for himself. He made the medium rare, and he made for me a well done.
Mhm.
So when when we are having dinner, eventually, not that time, right?
No, it was the next time when I made dinner for you as well as Fan July.
Yes. Yeah, eventually he made again well done, and for him it's really good, medium rare. And I said, I was really curious about your food, and then I said, is it really good? Because I can see the blood and the red. Yeah. And then he said, oh, you try, maybe you like it. When I tried, oh my God, I said, next time that's my steak.
That's how I'm going to have it from now on.
Was really good. good. Yeah. It's so juicy, tender, and loving and care.
I don't know how a steak gets to be loving, but okay.
Yeah.
That was, for me, that was really interesting because, again, like this is what makes you very unique from most other people is when you get above a certain age, it's very difficult to change, the habits of what it is you eat or how you eat certain things. I've just fully expected, well, she eats well done, she'll never change that. So the fact that you asked and then tried it and then said, oh, that's how I'm going to have it from now on, I was like blown away. It's like, wow, that's really something, because people don't typically do that. They don't change their mind about how food is cooked.
Sometimes you have to try first, and then at least you tried. If you don't like it, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's better to try than never, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true.
So yeah, I remember my friend said, yeah, when she tried, it's okay. She said it's okay. It's good. It's good. You
Well,
want
that
some
was
more?
maybe
Yeah,
later.
maybe later.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good. But I mean, your friends have all kind of learned from you in that respect as well, because I mean, now they are trying different things. Usually things that I've made.
From you too, because you're the one making it, and
Well, that's what
you
I
know.
mean. It's like, when I've made it and we ask them if they want to try, they're a little
Mm-hmm.
more open to trying it. It doesn't mean
Yes.
that they'll always like it, but the majority of things that they've tried, they go, "Oh, that is pretty good. I like that."
Yeah, they
You
like
know.
it. Yes. Yes.
So, yeah,
And
it's
and
good
also.
having someone like you in the group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. Surprise. And also, I learned how to cook Italian food from the scratch. Yeah. Yes, yes,
Hmm.
yo. Give me a scratch. Yes, that's right. Give me a scratch, sweetheart.
Oh, okay. Listen, OG Rowena, just
Break it down, break it down. Okay. So, yeah, so I learned how to make Italian food like lasagna, spaghetti, fettuccine, gnocchi.
but one
So,
of the
and
but one of the most important things that you learned was how to make pasta from scratch, like the actual pasta.
that's right. That's the one that's spaghetti and fettuccine pasta. And even lasagna, all the
Hmm.
pasta is all homemade.
Hmm.
And also, we made also the wine, red wine.
Mm.
And every year we have to buy grapes, a lot of grapes to make a wine. And also the sausages. Yeah, we made homemade sausages. Yeah, it was really fun that time. And until now we're adapting it. And I teach Peter to make lasagna too. So which is we're enjoying it. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So
Yeah, and actually, we've kind of talked about this, that pasta is kind of the food that represents our relationship best, I think.
that's right. You got it, sweetheart. That's a homemade pasta that represents our relationship.
She likes it
Yeah.
homemade, like
Yes.
me. I'm
It's a
homemade.
classic. It's a classic. It's a comforting dish that can be customized with a personal touch. Ah, yes. Yeah, it's signifying, solid foundations.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
Yeah.
you can add some spice to it too.
Ah, that's right. It's really creates more adaptability. Oh my
Mm.
God. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you made it through that one.
Got it.
And so, like, what would you say your favorite food is now?
My favorite food, I don't have really, really that number one, that my favorite food is like when I feel really down and my comforting or comfort food is kajos. Yes, kajos. Yeah, kajos is my comfort dish when I feel down, and that's the one I like. And when I feel down and I feel sick, so that's the
Hmm.
one I'm looking forward to eat. And then my favorite food when during winter, I like more soup. And like, nilagang baka is the number one, and bulalo. Yeah, bulalo. More soup,
Hmm.
chicken soup. Yeah, and more gulay, more vegetables, like chop suey
Hmm.
or stir fry vegetables. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? What's your favorite dish and your comfort dish?
It would probably be beef and bows, just because it's one of those quintessential dishes that reminds me of my mother, because she used to
Mm.
make that when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I tried
that
that one. It was really good.
yeah, that and spaghetti.
Oh,
like spaghetti with
spaghetti.
yeah with meatballs. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, because a
I always love
homemade.
that
Oh no, it's not a homemade pasta, but it's a homemade
homemade sauce.
sauce and homemade meatballs, which is
Exactly.
really good. Yummy. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so my mother did all kinds of things when we were kids. Again, because of the cost of living and the cost of having 6 kids, she preserved everything. Tomatoes, pickles, relishes, chutneys, shoes, shirts,
Shoes.
whatever. Well, in a way, yeah. I mean, she did preserve shirts and shoes because she would fix them, so that they would last longer. But yeah, like she used to pickle everything or
Yes.
turn jams or preserve peaches, pears, all kinds of different fruits.
Yeah.
So I grew up with all of that stuff around me. And one of the things that always really stuck was the tomatoes. Was doing, my mother used to call it doing down tomatoes. And you would just have jars of them. So now that's an annual thing that I do every year.
Yes, every year, yeah, he harvests tomatoes. Yeah,
I
from
go
the
out
store.
into the fields and I
Yeah.
harvest them and put them into a basket and carry
Oh,
them
we-
on my head all the way back to the cash
That's right.
register.
Yeah, we buy a lot of tomatoes and we put in the jar.
Hmm. Yeah, so
Well,
we
it's a long
usually-
process anyway, but yeah.
It is, but it's not bad. I mean, considering what we come out with, like we did this year, we did 2 full bushels of tomatoes, and it took us a full day to do. But
Yes.
I mean, we ended up with 30 jars of tomatoes, I think, something like
And
that.
the-
Yeah.
and meatballs too.
Mhm.
How
Yeah.
many meatballs you made for I think for a 2 months or 3 months supplies. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the last time I did a batch, it was 130 meatballs.
Imagine.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, so we can call him a Mr. Meatballs.
Better than meathead.
And also, sweetheart, there's one more food that we really like also, the Greek food.
Oh, yes.
Yes, the Greek dish, really good, you know.
But we like the souvlaki,
Souvlaki,
and the
yes.
village salad,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the honey balls.
The favorite one. Honey balls,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the baklava.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the honey balls is, is a balls with the honey.
Well, otherwise known in Greek lukumaris.
Yes, that's right. Look at
We said that. I was telling someone of Greek descent. We were at a dinner and mentioned honey balls. Actually, I think I brought them as a dessert. And I said, "Oh, I brought honey balls." And they looked at me and they said, "You brought what?"
Yes.
Honey balls. And she said, "Oh, I thought that was your nickname."
No, I mentioned that. Oh no, I think you're the one.
Oh.
I forgot who mentioned about honey balls and
That was George's wife.
yes, and she was thinking that's that's Peter, my endearment to Peter, honey balls. Yes,
Yeah, I am
sweetheart,
pretty
my
sweet.
honey balls and my meatballs.
Oh man. Well, I mean, it's easy to see how different cultures, or how food in different cultures really brings people together. And of course, when it's universally known as a love language, because there's so many different layers and complexities to different cultural foods and things like that. So it's no wonder that these things really resonate with couples and become big binding experiences together. So.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
with that, we'd love to hear all about the cultural foods that you and your spouse or companion or partner or whoever share, and what you think of each other's cultural foods. And you can send those to canapino25@gmail.com. That's CANAPINO25@gmail.com. We would be happy to share some of those emails on an upcoming episode. But until then, my dear,
Yes, dear.
thank you for being here.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much for listening to us, and see you soon.
Thanks very much, everybody. We'll see you again soon. Bye.